Are you a future crypto millionaire who's found that hot cryptocurrency which is going to take you to the moon? Well, top marks on being a first-class crypto scientist. However, here's the problem. Realistically, those legendary 100x gains aren't likely to happen overnight. Sorry for being a negative Nelly here. That means if you've picked that winner, you're probably going to have to wait a bit for those sorts of insane gains to happen. But here's the question. Are savvy crypto hodlers just sitting around with that crypto waiting to be hacked? Of course not. So, in this video, I'm going to go over the safest crypto wallets that money can buy. I'm also going to share a few essential crypto tips when it comes to using these devices, something that you don't want to miss. Before we talk about security, we need to talk about legality. Specifically, I am not a financial advisor. I know it's a career path my mother wanted me to take, but I told her I was more interested in producing content for educational and entertainment purposes. So that means that nothing in this video can be considered financial advice. Sorry, Mum. Now, with that slight disappointment out of the way, I want to extend a warm welcome to anyone new to the channel. My channel is a hub for all the best crypto news, reviews, and analysis to hit the blockchain. Now, if that sounds like something you want on tap, then make sure to tap that subscribe button. For truly dedicated Coin Bureau fans, you're going to want to ping that notification bell as well. Do that and you're going to be the first to know whenever I release a real important video. And finally, many people don't appreciate this, but time is one of the only commodities money cannot buy. That's why I respect yours so highly, and it's the reason you have these timestamps right here. So use them to jump ahead to the sections that interest you the most. Okay, ready to secure that crypto? Let's unlock that mystery. To get started, I should probably explain the different ways that you can store crypto and why I think that hardware wallets are your best bet. The truth is that most crypto newbies rock onto a crypto exchange, buy that crypto, and just leave it there. Yes, that is really convenient and is minimal hassle. But what's the problem with that approach? Well, if you do that, you won't actually hold your private keys. Instead, you're essentially the owner of an IOU issued by a company you first heard about 10 minutes ago. Now, I must stress that crypto is still like the Wild West, with hundreds of new exchanges springing up every year. Let's just say that some of those have very questionable business practices, or the exchange might simply be a front to collect your money before the crooks vanish into the ether. Don't believe me? Well, that's allegedly what happened at Quadriga CX, the Coinbase of Canada. Now, even if you're fortunate enough to be keeping your coins on an honest exchange, there is one major threat, and that would be that exchange hacks are not exactly uncommon. After all, when there are literally hundreds of millions of dollars lying around on exchanges, it's not surprising that they make a tempting target for hackers. For those who think I'm just telling tall tales, well, here are some examples. Last year, KuCoin got hacked for a whopping $281 million. Just a few months later, Exmo lost 6% of all user funds on the exchange to a hack. Google crypto exchange hack, and I can promise you that you won't be short of reading material. Other shady exchanges might make it nearly impossible to get your coins off their exchange too. Yes, I know I've probably scared the bejesus out of you. However, there are many legit exchanges out there. If you want to learn which crypto exchanges I think are the best right now, then you'll want to click on the video over here. But here's the deal. Even if you opt to use one of those top exchanges, have you got full 100% certainty that they'll keep your crypto safe? Sadly, no one can. Sure, I'm comfortable keeping small amounts on the exchange, but anything larger leaves me a tad worried. That's why so many crypto hodlers in the space recommend that you store your coins in a wallet you control, self-custody. That way, you control those private keys and are not reliant on that exchange middleman protecting your funds for you. The easiest way of doing that is by downloading a free wallet app on your phone or computer. And I've actually already done a video about all those sorts of wallets over here. Yes, these apps are super convenient and you do control those all-important private keys. However, here's the problem with those types of wallet. Those private keys are exposed every time you connect to the internet, which I imagine is pretty much all the time for those smartphone and computer users out there. Click on the wrong link, download a dodgy app by accident, or get that other type of virus, and that hacker could empty those crypto coffers in a flash. Yes, you could go low-tech and protect yourself against hackers by going the paper wallet route. However, there are good reasons why this isn't exactly a popular option anymore. They're pretty inconvenient. Most people don't want to be printing out a new paper wallet for every transaction they receive, which means that many paper wallet users reuse the same address. Bad news for privacy. Finally, if you're a butterfingers like I am, then you could lose access to that crypto by simply spilling a cup of coffee over that precious piece of paper. And finally, you have hardware wallets. But what the heck are they? Well, these wallets are physical devices that come in all manner of shapes and sizes. In short, they store your private keys in a way that the private key never leaves the device. Also, each transaction needs to be validated on the device itself. All that matters, as it means that your private keys are never exposed to your computer and, by extension, that scary outside world of would-be crypto thieves. It also means that if your computer has a virus or malware, you can still use these devices safely on that computer. So yes, if you're wanting the best crypto security to guard that future fortune against remote attacks, then you are going to want to get a hardware wallet. Now, with all that being said, hardware wallets do have two key vulnerabilities. The first is what crypto security experts name the deadly $5 wrench attack. It's actually a highly technical exploit that involves the use of this really advanced piece of equipment. You see, as an attacker, all I need to do in order to get your crypto with this is to clobber you over the head until you give me your password. A low-tech, but pretty effective hack. You can check out the technical schematics for this sort of attack over here. So, what can you do to help protect yourself against that $5 wrench attack? Well, you don't want to be bragging to that girl you met a few minutes ago about all the crypto you have. Chances are they wouldn't be very impressed anyhow, and you also don't know who is listening in on that mad crypto flex. Point is that if no one knows that you own crypto, then you can probably sleep well with that hardware wallet tucked under your pillow. The second potential vulnerability with hardware wallets is buying them from an unofficial supplier. This basically involves scammers on the likes of eBay or Amazon sending you pre-programmed seed words on a poisoned device. The easy way to protect yourself from that nightmare is to buy directly from the hardware wallet company themselves. Anyhow, now that you know all the ins and outs of crypto wallets, it's time for the main event. Which is the best hardware wallet? Let's move on to my top 5 picks, starting at the bottom. As a chap who used Ledger happily for years, it pains me to have to place Ledger hardware wallets at number 5. Firstly, I need to be straight up and say that, to my knowledge, there is nothing wrong with the security of Ledger devices themselves. So, why all the doom and gloom here? Well, what you need to know is that Ledger suffered a data breach in mid-2020. It turns out that 272,000 customer home addresses, telephone numbers, and names were released into the wild at the end of last year. That data dump also included around 1 million email addresses too. That all kick-started a slew of scam emails to Ledger customers trying to extort them for money. What's even scarier is the thought of criminals using that list to $5 wrench attack anyone in their local area. Yes, I used to be a huge fan of Ledger, and the hardware wallets themselves are top-notch. However, this whole debacle has shaken my faith in Ledger, keeping that all-important private data secure. If you want to learn more about the hack, then, fortunately, I have already done a dedicated video on just that. You can check that out by hitting the link in the top right. But if you're willing to overlook that indiscretion by Ledger, what hardware wallets have they got on the shelves over there? Well, the Ledger Nano S will set you back around 55 quid. That's around 75 USD or 62 euros. For that modest price point, you'll have the ability to store 27 coins and more than 1,500 tokens. All that is possible by using the Ledger Live desktop app to manage those cryptocurrency accounts. That makes it super simple to store, send, and receive crypto. However, it is super important for any would-be Ledger Nano S owner to know that only 3 to 6 applications can be stored on your device at once. What that means is that those with large portfolios stuffed full of exotic altcoins might get frustrated by having to constantly uninstall and reinstall apps to manage all those cryptos. So yes, be aware of that. Now, you might be thinking that a capacity of just 3 or 6 apps is nowhere near enough. After all, any altcoin dabbler worth their salt holds way more cryptocurrencies than that. Well, to that I say it might not be as big an issue as you think. The reason why is that each separate blockchain has its own app. That means you can store any ERC20 token by just installing the Ethereum app. Also, staking for a bunch of coins is also supported, a big plus for hodlers. Moving on to security. Well, there are no known hacks when it comes to the devices themselves, so there is a solid record in that department. Another cool thing about Ledger is that it integrates with a host of Web3 wallets like MetaMask, which are almost mandatory when it comes to dabbling in DeFi. So if that's something you want to do, then you might want to consider getting a Ledger. So who is the Ledger Nano S for? Well, in my book, it's for anyone that can see past the Ledger data breach and is only likely to use a handful of apps. The £55 price point will also appeal to the value hunters out there who want to store a vast array of coins. Yes, the Ledger Nano S was the original hardware wallet. However, those interested in Ledger also have a newer, shinier option to consider. That would be the Ledger Nano X. Some say the Ledger Nano X shows up the S when it comes to looks. I must say, the bigger screen is pretty useful for guys like me who might have somewhat burnt their eyes out with all that non-stop crypto research. But how much does it cost? Well, a pretty eye-watering £109, $148 or 124 euros. For that extra money, you get a bigger screen, better build quality, and Bluetooth connectivity, which allows you to use the device with the Ledger Live app on your mobile. And finally, those altcoin dabblers who have pushed crypto diversification to the limits will be pleased to know that the Ledger Nano X can install up to 100 apps. That's right. Even the most hardcore altcoiner is unlikely to have to mess around with uninstalling and reinstalling apps. If you're considering a Ledger hardware wallet, then the question you should be asking is if all those additional features are worth paying double the price. Now, honestly, if I was forced to pick between the two types of ledgers, I'd probably go for the more economical Ledger Nano S and save that extra money. That being said, I do understand how the X could appeal to those that hold crypto portfolios with a plethora of different coins. If you are going to be buying either Ledger device, I would refrain from handing over any phone numbers. You should also use a separate email address from your main one. It's just an added precaution. This was all covered in the aforementioned Ledger video, by the way. In the fourth spot, I have Coldcard. Yes, you can be forgiven for mistaking this hardware wallet for a calculator or an online bank key. This mid-tier option comes in at $120, £88 or 100 euros. So, why would you consider getting one? Well, it's safe to say that Coldcard is probably the most secure hardware wallet out there. That's due to a host of security features, and these include some of the following. A duress pin, which you can punch in if you're under attack from a $5 wrench-wielding baddie. If you use that pin, then everything seems normal to the attacker. However, what's really happened is that the Bitcoin key generated isn't your regular one with all your Bitcoin. Instead, a completely separate wallet is opened up instead. You can use that a bit like you would use a fake wallet to mislead muggers in the real world. Genius, really. If you're the kind of person who's not happy with misdirection and giving up a single Satoshi, then you have another option. Coldcard also lets you set up a BrickMe pin, which fries the secure element on the device and renders it inoperable, a bit like a self-destruct button. Of course, you will need your seed words to recover them, but the hope is that the attacker doesn't have them. If the attacker tries to brute force your PIN, then Coldcard has an option for that as well. You get 13 attempts, or the device gets fried again. Another cool security feature is that you can operate this wallet completely air-gapped, basically completely unconnected to your PC. You can manage that Bitcoin and use the device by just plugging it into a power bank or power adapter. Finally, some people don't trust the randomness of seed word generators. With Coldcard, you can generate that seed phrase by using random dice rolls. Now, honestly, I've not seen most of these kinds of security features implemented on any other hardware wallet. Also, what's awesome is that all code for Coldcard is open sourced, so anyone can take a look and see if that code is legit. So essentially, Coldcard is a bit like an upgraded Fort Knox for the 21st century. It sounds like a no-brainer, right? Well, there are some drawbacks. The first is that this wallet only supports Bitcoin. Sorry, altcoiners. Another drawback is that cold card security does come at the expense of ease of use. If you want to sign a BTC transaction, you'll need to create a partially signed Bitcoin transaction on your device before you can finally sign that transaction. That's pretty time-consuming and irritating if you send a ton of BTC transactions like me. But who is Cold Card for? Well, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that this wallet is the most secure option I've seen. It's simply got a host of security features that I've yet to see elsewhere. However, all that counts for nothing if you intend to store altcoins. Also, it's not the most straightforward wallet to use either. All that being said, if you have a massive stack of Bitcoin, then you'll definitely want to consider this option. At number 3, I have the Elipal Titan. This is yet another air-gapped cold wallet, and you can get your hands on one for $139, £102 or 115 euros. Yes, that might be the most expensive wallet I've brought up so far, but it could well be worth that price. To start, the wallet is sealed to be dust and water jet proof. Also, if anyone tries to force the wallet open to tinker with it, your keys will be deleted once a breach is detected, thus protecting your wallet against physical attacks. As the Elipal Titan relies on the sole use of QR codes for data transfer, it is never connected to things like USBs, Wi-Fi, or Bluetooth. You want this to fully secure yourself against remote attacks. Now, honestly, folks, unlike Cold Card, this wallet is also pretty damn easy to set up and use. It also supports over 7,000 crypto assets too. So yes, the chances are that the coin you want to store is supported here. Oh yes, Elipal also allows you to stake your coins, earn interest, exchange or buy crypto through its apps too. Honestly, I think there's a whole lot to like about this Elipal Titan wallet. The one thing I would say is that it's relatively new and doesn't have the proven track record of market leaders like Ledger or Trezor. So, who is this wallet for? Anyone that wants an air-gapped wallet with multi-crypto support at a reasonable price. Now it's time for my second pick, and that has to be KeepKey. Here's a fun fact. KeepKey was founded all the way back in 2015 and was acquired by Shapeshift in 2017. Another crazy thing is, the CTO who oversaw its development was called Ken Hodler. No, I am not making that up. With a name like that, it's maybe not surprising that Ken ended up in this line of work. Anyhow, one of the main attractions of KeepKey is its insanely reasonable price point of $49, £36 or 40 euros. It's also got a significantly bigger screen than even that Ledger Nano X, so perfect for blurry-eyed crypto junkies like me. Needless to say, it's also got full integration with Shapeshift. So that means that this wallet essentially has a full crypto exchange contained inside, pretty convenient if you want to trade crypto securely. The device itself is secured by a PIN code and backed up with seed words. For a while, KeepKey did have a PIN vulnerability. Basically, those chaps at Ledger found a way to extract those PIN codes from KeepKey wallets. Too bad, really, that Ledger didn't spend at least half that time securing their customer database, huh? Anywho, this KeepKey vulnerability did require physical access to the device. It was also fixed pretty quickly by the KeepKey team with a firmware update. But what about that all-important crypto support? Well, KeepKey allows you to store over 40 cryptocurrencies. Yes, that's not the widest selection. However, you can combine KeepKey with MyEtherWallet and store any ERC20 token, so that's around another 1,000 cryptos right there. My main gripe with this hardware wallet is that some of those hot altcoins I hold are not supported, which is a bit of a letdown. With all that being said, how can you quibble with KeepKey at $49? Basically, if you're looking to get your hands on a hardware wallet with a ton of features and at a modest price, then I think KeepKey certainly needs to be considered. Now, I need a drum roll for my final pick, please. It's Trezor. Now, I'm just going to be straightforward here. After the Ledger data breach, Trezor became my go-to hardware wallet of choice and is what I use to store my crypto now. But those smart Alecs will know that there are two types of Trezor. So, which one did I go for? Well, I'm going to look first at the latest Trezor Model T first. This will set you back a staggering €159, $190 or £140. Gosh. Like both Trezor models, the Model T is air-gapped for 99% of the time. However, if you want to use it, you'll have to plug it into your computer or phone with a USB-C connector. An important thing to note is that Trezor mobile support doesn't extend to the cool kids with iPhones, so sorry about that. My dad once shared a pearl of wisdom many moons ago, and that would be, keep it simple, stupid. Trezor seems to have taken that ethos to heart, and I can safely say that I find these devices are the easiest ones to set up and use. That's a massive plus for anyone new to crypto or guys like me that like to keep things as easy as possible. In other good news, the Trezor Model T boasts support for the most cryptos of any wallet on this list. How many exactly? Well, 1,617 to be precise. So, if you found that hidden 1000x gem, then Trezor is your best shot at storing it. Oh yes, the Model T also comes with a bigger screen than the other type of Trezor. Its color has touchscreen functionality, and the device also supports micro SD cards. If those sorts of features have value to you, then that's certainly something to consider. Another cool thing with both types of Trezor is that they integrate with my favorite free wallet, Exodus. Now, the reason why I think that's a big deal is that Exodus not only looks stunning, but it is the go-to option that I point my mates towards when they're sitting on the fence when it comes to getting a mobile wallet. That integration gives Exodus wallet users that option to upgrade their security with Trezor. Pretty neat, huh? Now, essentially, the Trezor Model T is the ideal hardware wallet for anyone who values ease of use and support for the widest possible range of coins. With all that being said, I think the Trezor One is the best choice out there for most people. Yes, it doesn't have that snazzy color touchscreen or micro SD card support. However, the Trezor One only sets you back €49, $59 or £43. You could literally buy 3 Trezor Ones for the same price of a Model T. Pretty much everything else that I've said about the Trezor Model T applies to the Trezor One. However, there is one major difference when it comes to supported coins. The Trezor Model T supports cryptos like XRP, Cardano, EOS, and Monero, and the Trezor One doesn't. So if you're hodling Cardano to the moon, then you might want to opt for a Model T instead. If you really want to spend that extra €100 on the flashier Trezor model instead, then be my guest. But I imagine most people out there would be better off saving that extra €100 or so and opting for this cheaper model instead. So who is the Trezor One for? Well, anyone who wants an easy way to protect their crypto against remote attacks at a keen price point and wants the option to store around 1,600 different cryptocurrencies. That's all I have time for today, folks. My thoughts on hardware wallets. Now, if you're interested in upgrading your crypto security with any of the wallets mentioned in this video, then be sure to use the links in the description below. Now, though, I'm interested in your thoughts. Are there any hardware wallets that I've missed off my list? Do you think they're worth the investment? Use those comments below. And while you're checking out those links for them hardware wallets or thinking of that witty comment, I do want to draw your attention to my socials page. Click that link in the description to find out where to find my podcasts, Twitter, and Instagram. Here I share exclusive content and insights that you won't find on the tube. The place to go for anyone that wants to hear even more from this crypto captain. Finally, if you found this video useful, then help a brother out and send those likes to an all-time high. Also, don't forget to subscribe. For now, keep that crypto safe, and I'll see you on the moon. Guy, over and out.